What's up, horror fam? Steven aka Bojangles here, telling you to throw on some clothes and grab some cash because we are going to the movies. And you're probably wondering how these videos are going to work, because this is a whole new video series for Talk Horror that I kind of just sprung on you guys. But I didn't completely spring it on you guys, because I did announce that I was going to be doing these on the Patreon. I gave the patrons a little bit of an early bird access. And speaking of Patreon, I also wanted to give a huge thank you and mwah to you, Heidi, for becoming our latest Patreon supporter. You're freaking awesome. So these videos are called Road Trip, and that's basically whenever I go see a movie or something like that, I'm going to take you all along with me, and I will go over my pre-thoughts of the movie, what I think about it before I've seen it. I'm going to go in, see the movie, and then afterwards, after I've seen it, I'm immediately going to let you all know what I thought. What are we going to go see today, Steve? Well, we're going to go see It Chapter 2. Today is the big premiere day. It's Thursday. I waited forever because they didn't update the show times for it on the website, and I thought, man, that is so nuts. There's not going to be a premiere for It Chapter 2? What? And then the other day, I happened to be checking on there one last time just to make sure, and it was there. It starts at 7, but I'm expecting a big crowd, so I'm leaving significantly early. That gives me more time to talk to you all, but also, anytime I want to go see a movie in the area I live in, I have a decent little drive ahead of me anyways. Why not spend it with you guys and gals? So, what am I expecting from It Chapter 2? Well, I'm going to tell you now, I haven't really read into any of the theories or any of the discussions or anything like that on it. I have seen the trailer. I did a trailer reaction for it. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. I'm telling you now, I did my pelvic thrusts, I did my squats, I did everything to prepare my ass for the undertaking it is about to behold, because this movie is almost 3 hours long. I'm going to be at the theater probably 4 freaking hours. I mean, because previews are going to last at least, for a movie like this, at least 15 minutes. Everyone's going to want to get their marketing in, I'm sure. I'll stay, I'm sure, after the credits roll to see if there's any post-credit scenes or anything like that. But it's going to be a long haul, so I'm hoping this movie is really freaking good. It's an epic length, big budgeted horror movie, which we do not get that often whatsoever in the horror genre. So I hope it is great, because if you've ever watched a bad movie, it just drags. It could be an hour and a half long, and it is going to seem like it's 3 freaking hours. So could you imagine a bad movie that's 3 hours long? Holy shit, that would suck. So please be good. Come through for me, Pennywise. I don't know what to expect. The first one, I like the first one. I'm not crazy about it like some people. You know, I'm not an absolute super fan, end all be all, you know, gung-ho. But I did like it. I would probably give the first one like a 7 out of 10. I thought the best thing about it was the kids, man. It had kind of that Stranger Things feeling to it, you know, that friendship, that bond. I thought they did a really good job with the kids. Pennywise, to me, was a little lackluster. And I was bummed knowing that It Chapter 2, I presumed, was going to follow the adults. But now I've learned that one reason it has such a long-ass runtime is because it switches back and forth between the kids and the adults. So that's cool. I have to say, they did a great job casting those adult actors, because when you look at those kids, that's what you envision they would look like as adults. So that casting director gets a thumbs up as far as that goes. In the trailer, there was some cheesy stuff in there, like Pennywise floating through the air with the balloons. That reminded me of Pixar's Up. I mean, seriously. But I could see him pulling that off, because Pennywise did do some cheesy stuff in the original film. So that may actually work out. But that tongue scene, the one where he looks like a freaking cartoon character with his tongue hanging down, that looks silly to me. It reminds me of, you know, like those Looney Tunes cartoons or something, when a hot other cartoon character walks by, so their tongue rolls out and hits the floor. That's what it reminds me of. But like I said, the original had cheesy scenes like that too, and it was just part of Pennywise's way of tormenting the kids and the adults, you know, just so goofy, and then he wants to just rip you apart. That's my take on it so far. I know it is going to be long, so I'm grabbing the large popcorn. I'm not playing games here, damn it. I'm getting the large. I'm going to treat myself. I've been saving my cheat meal for a large popcorn. I'm going to get a water, which I'm going to drink very sparingly because I hate having to get up and go to the bathroom during a movie. That sucks, man. Now, I'm glad you all are getting to come along on this trip with me, man. Whenever there's something decent in theaters, I plan on doing this little road trip series, and, you know, maybe this will spawn some other ideas. The big question here is, what do you want from the theater? What are you going to snack on? You want some popcorn? You want some candy? You want some Milk Duds? You want them Junior Mints? You want them cookie dough bites, don't you? Oh, yeah, I see you. You want them cookie dough bites. Maybe some Sour Jacks if you're feeling wild. All right, my friends, we're about to pull into the theater. Let's see if this place is freaking packed or what. And it is not packed. Woo, I'm telling you, that was a long one, my friends. Holy shit. My ass knew right away that this was not a sprint. It was a freaking marathon. Now, I want to let you all know right off the bat, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. And I also want to let you know that, no, there is no post-credits scene or anything like that. And one really cool thing that my theater did, I don't know if yours will, but like a minute into the movie, I see the door open coming into the theater, and the little kid in a slicker comes walking in carrying 2 red balloons. And behind him is Pennywise, and they make a couple trips up and down between the aisles, and then they ended up leaving, which was really freaking cool. I like that a lot. It was a nice little touch. I gotta say, I'm really disappointed in this one in comparison to Chapter 1. You know, this one goes down a couple points for me. The friendship, the bond that the kids had in Chapter 1 does not translate well into adulthood by any means. It feels really, it just feels like it's not there anymore. The love for each other is not there anymore. And it's like they tried so hard to make a certain character or certain characters obnoxious that their performances are really off-putting. It's like, is that the way someone would really react in this situation? If that's what was happening to you in your life, is that really how you would react to this situation? You know, like if somebody gets freaking stabbed or something, they're just like, oh, well, shucks, can't believe this is happening. No, that's not how you would react. And a certain character goes on like this little side mission thing to help someone, we'll say, and it kind of felt like it was pointless, like it went nowhere. I mean, this person spent all this time focused on this thing, and then there was nothing to differentiate this situation from other similar situations in the movie, if that makes sense. So it's like introducing certain characters that you think are going to be an integral part of the movie or something like that, and then going nowhere with them, really. Or they have the same fate as some of the other characters in the film that didn't have anywhere near that long of screen time. There is a really cool cameo in the movie, and I'm sure you're going to notice it when it happens. But if you pay real close attention to that scene, you'll see some other little Easter eggs in there too. There's a lot of jump scares in it. I mean, tons of jump scares, and some of them which are false jump scares. You know, those kind of jump scares where, oh, it's just a friend playing a prank on them, or, you know, the classic one from like 80s slasher movies where a cat jumps through the window or something. I'm not saying any of that happens, but I'm giving you an idea of what I'm talking about. And there's some decent suspenseful moments too, especially with Pennywise, but they're very predictable how they're going to go sometimes, because there'll be a little bit of suspense, and then it just shoots right into a jump scare. Like Pennywise will take a couple of steps towards the characters or something like that, and then just pause for a second, and then all of a sudden do that really quick little scurry run thing towards them, little scattery run thing towards them. They introduce some characters that I don't even know why in the hell they were in there. It's like there's no bit. I mean, some of them who I was looking forward to, like, oh shit, man, things are going to get crazy now. They don't even matter. They're gone. You know, they maybe have like a minute or two of screen time. And speaking, and back to the scares thing, man. In the first one thing I didn't like was when they're all in like that little hut, and Pennywise comes through the projector and he's like this huge version of himself. They do that so many times in this movie. Like, just turn Pennywise into this huge monstrosity creature thing, and it looks so silly. It looks like something out of a Goosebumps movie. The CGI is absolutely terrible, and it is overused like a mofo in this thing. And I'm going to tell you now, there is no reason for this thing to be so long. There's no justification for having a 3-hour-long runtime, man. I was hoping they would utilize it properly, but they did not. Okay, they spent most of that runtime doing flashback scenes of that summer when the kids were all together and battled it out with Pennywise. So a lot of it seemed like not even It Chapter 2, but It Chapter 1.5. And then for the big final showdown, it was just a mess of CGI, and it's like they didn't know how to end it or something, because the ending was just, what they actually needed to do is just so generic, so cheap, so anticlimactic. It's just, it reminded me of a notoriously bad ending, something like out of A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 or something, where it's known that they didn't have an ending for that movie, so they just winged it on the spot. I mean, it's something like that. The ending is just so like, really? This was supposed to be that epic, this epic showdown, and this is what you're giving us? I can't even begin to describe it. It is just wow. The cinematography in it, there's some good establishing shots and stuff like that, but it's all very run-of-the-mill for most of it. The music in it, you know, I see this thing where they're supposed to release this epic soundtrack for the movie that you can buy, and I don't really see where it had that epic of a soundtrack. It was very run-of-the-mill, something you would see in your average horror movie. But even when they did the flashback scenes of, you know, the kids, even in some of that, man, the kids felt really obnoxious. Just that, it's like the bond wasn't there. Overall, just everything about it was very mediocre, which is unfortunate. But let me know if you all feel the same way. If y'all go and see it, please let me know your thoughts on it. I really hope you all can get some enjoyment out of it. But that's it for me. So until next time, my friends, look horror, listen horror, talk horror.